Hi, my name is Nick Heidelberg. I'll be doing my speech on Living in Color. I'm just gonna use the script because it's been a little while. Yeah. Have you ever seen what an actor looks like on stage under the bright spotlights without any makeup? Every flaw, every imperfection, every splotch of color on their face is highlighted. When you put makeup on, you cover those up. You can use the light to create shadow and colors to illustrate. You're telling a story. I like makeup. It's a new story each time. Sometimes though, you're just writing, you're just writing the final pages of a story someone else has been writing. But the process is the same, you know. Doing makeup on the dead is just like doing makeup on actors. Doing makeup on dead people isn't that different from doing it on actors, except the dead usually complain less. Of course, I didn't just start out doing makeup. I wanted to be an actor, you know. I was gonna give it a shot, but that ship sailed and sunk. I love makeup. I really do. I just never thought I'd end up working back in the same little town that I grew up in. But I needed work and the mortuary needed help. It took me about a month to get used to the whole makeup on dead people thing, but once I got comfortable with it, it was easy. Use colors, shades, create a look, create a performance. That's what I love, the performance. My first performance was in West Side Story. It was my junior year of high school. After my audition, the director stopped me, said he really enjoyed my audition, and asked why I had never been there earlier. I laughed and made some excuse about being a late bloomer or something. The truth was, I hadn't had the courage. Oh, it wasn't stage fright. See, the theater season and the football season conflicted. Performing in a play meant not performing on the field, and that was unacceptable for my father. Auditioning for a play meant working up the courage to tell my father that I didn't want to play football anymore. So I did that. I auditioned and I won a decent role. I love performing. First it was West Side, then there was Fame, and then I landed a role in Our Town. I loved every minute of stage time and every performance, and I'd always liked doing my own makeup. The families are asked to provide a photo, and if they desire, some general directions for me to work from. Most of the photos are from years ago, ages ago. And their wedding, the birth of their child, or birthday, perhaps their happiest days. Doris Carlson. See? Her wedding. A beautiful dress and a beautiful smile. Please capture the radiance of her smile. Of course, it's been 6 years. Her teeth are gone and her eyes will be closed, but after my final 2 years of high school, I was sold on theater. I wanted to go to college and I was going to be a theater major. My father wasn't happy with it. He believed I had already ruined my chances of a football scholarship and he never let me forget it. And there was no way that he was going to let me give up my last remaining slivers of hope in college football by pursuing theater. You're not going. It was never a question. It was always a statement. If I wasn't going to play football, I wasn't going to college. But he can't control that. I applied and I was accepted. I'm not going to pay for it. You're on your own. I knew that. The assumption had been made, so I went off to college to clear my major right from the start and worked my ass off to pay for the tuition. The books and fees for costumes, scripts, auditions, and makeup. But I was doing it. I kept in touch with the folks. Usually when I called, it was my mother who picked up, but I never even spoke to my father. When he picked up the phone, he went and got my mother. Obviously, my mother and I grew closer during those times. She even made it to a few big performances I had at college. I always had the glimmer of hope that he might come along. He never did. In fact, in my last year there, I had the lead role in All My Sons. My mother was ecstatic, and she came to the opening performance. I kept thinking he'd show. It was my last college show. I kept thinking he'd surprise me just once. And, of course, he stayed true to form and stayed home. Of all the years and all the performances, he refused to come to that one. That one hurt the most. But that night, there was someone else in the audience, a talent agent. He was waiting for me outside the stage door after the show. He was a real agent, and he was from New York. He told me that if I had ever ended up in the Big Apple, I should call him. I could see it. My name in big lights, starring Alex McMahon. Something's not right here. It's the blush. The blush is a little off. I swear it's the blush that does it. Everything else sort of relies on the blush. It's the last little addition, but at the same time, it's the largest component. 2 months after I graduated, I made the big move. I called the agent, and he agreed to try and find me some auditions. As the months went by, I had a few auditions, but nothing major. I wasn't earning much. I mostly did clerical grunt work, and I had a hard time staying ahead of the bills. But then about a year after, I moved out there, I started making callbacks. I had a few callbacks, and then a few callbacks, and then I had a few callbacks. I never made it. I never could make the cut and land a role. And then I was broke. I had no options. I was evicted, and I didn't have any long-term work possibilities, so I came back here, back home. The first thing I had to do was ask my parents for a loan, and then the past came rushing back with all the things that had been left unsaid for years. What happened? I don't know, Dad. I guess New York happened? Oh, and you couldn't take it. I've known it for years, but you and your mother were so content to see you go off and try to find whatever it was that you thought acting had for you. But I could have told you years ago that you were wasting your time. But no, you wanted to go off and be one of those theater freaks. That was it. The money exchanged hands, and I found a cheap apartment. And we never spoke after that. Then I found a good job here at the mortuary. And those skills that I had developed backstage for years came in handy. My mother and I still speak every once in a while. She calls, in fact, just yesterday, and she still doesn't know I work here. And after everything, I prefer it that way. Sometimes all we have to work with is the photo. Usually I don't even meet any of the family. The mortician himself usually deals with the family and the funeral details. All I get is the photo. Maybe short request on the back. There's never any story. Jack McMahon. It's a photo of him holding his infant son. Please make my husband look this proud. I can do it, Dad. I can make you look that proud. But you still have one final performance. You look good, Dad. You look damn good. Thank you.